Millennials are not living above their means when they say that $100,000 doesn't do for us what it did for our parents. What we're saying is it doesn't go as far because the cost of housing, the cost of childcare, the cost to live in general has gone up exponentially. I think kids is the best example of this. In the 90s, the average family had 2.5 to 3 kids, and the cost of daycare for like one of those kids was under $10,000. It says around $5,000 to $6,000 a year. The average cost of childcare now in 2023 is $16,000 to $26,000 a year, depending where you live. Where I live, the minimum's like $20,000 per kid per year. Okay, that's huge. That's a huge difference, right? And so they were having 2 to 3 kids. The average family in the US currently is having 1, maybe 2 kids because they can't afford more. And when you look at us and say you're living above your means if you can't make $100,000 work for your family, they're failing to notice that childcare plays a big part in this. The world mostly runs on dual income homes at this point. Most millennial families are a dual income home because they can't afford not to be. And that's partially because of childcare, but partially due to the cost of living and the cost to own a home, right? The average mortgage right now is over $2,000. It's like 2.5 or something like that a month. That's a lot. That's a lot for the average family. And then when you calculate the fact that they are paying $20,000 a year per kid for daycare on top of that, that's more than their mortgage. They're not living above their means when childcare is 50% of their income. And then the pushback is then just stay home with your kids. But if you stay home with your kids, you can't afford your mortgage. You can't afford your mortgage. You can't afford your phone bill and your Comcast or whatever it is that you have. And it's so funny because people will say like, oh, you're living above your means. We didn't have all these things. No, you didn't. But having internet and a phone now is a necessity. You have to have those things to have jobs and to stay connected to the world. Those are things you need. Take out cable. Sure, nobody needs TV. Take the TV away. My internet alone is still over $100 just for internet, right? Your phone bill is going to be $100 to $200 depending on where you live and how many people are on your phone plan. And if you need it for work, it's going to be higher than that. So the cost of living has gone up so much, and specifically with childcare, that we're not living outside of our means. We are scraping by just to pay for our kids to go to daycare so we can work. And then we get to do nothing outside of that. Don't eat. God forbid you ever order out. Like, really? We're supposed to live and suffer? For what? Because on the other side of it, I've definitely also heard a lot of boomers saying, I wish I didn't work my life away. Because the day I retired, I got cancer or I got sick or whatever it might be. Yet they're looking at us and saying, suffer more.